Hello, everyone. Jessica Peterson here with Simply Wow Agency, where it's simple, wow people, your business grows, and you have a prosperous wow life yourself. So today I'm excited to have Richard Matharoo on the Wow Power Players episode today. Welcome, Richard.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to share.
Ooh, I'm really excited too. You and I were having a conversation on Facebook. You saw that I was looking for some people with valuable information to share with others. And I was really intrigued how you're focused on creating a sales funnel. And it's all online.
Sure.
I was also really intrigued that you've niched yourself with network marketers. Now this information applies to other small businesses as well.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
what you've really crafted is how to grow referrals today. And I absolutely love that. So my agency, we love to teach people how to grow referrals with a focus, social media, the marketing and the 30-second pitch and, offline marketing. For you, it's more of the online sales funnel for people who don't want to talk to friends or family or anything, which is so unique and different. Our agency, we do some of that. It's more niche on the friends, family. What I love about you is your niche. This is completely starting from scratch. You don't want to go to your friends and family, right? And
Yeah, sure.
and you personally have recruited over 500 people in a network marketing company. I know you're in one, and people don't care. They still buy up your services, your training of all sorts because they know it works.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I just in the industry that I'm in, it's very linear and finite in the sense that people say, okay, this is the way it should be done, and that's it. And my question to myself when I was failing 6-7 years ago, after I'd tried 3 different companies, I tried different approaches, I was following the system that everyone was teaching. I was like, how come there's only this really small number of people getting success, and how come there's so many people that aren't? Sure, there's got to be a better way. And having a traditional business background, I owned a couple of health clubs with my wife. I suddenly thought, well, why can't I apply the same sound business strategies that are working in other professions into this one? And I think a lot of times when we're very insular in what we do, and I read a book once, and the E-Myth Revisited, and he said you should work on your business, not just in your business. So I took a little step externally and thought, okay, how can I get more referrals? How can I generate quality people who want what I've already got to offer, so I don't have to convince them, and everything works a lot smoother? And I want to do it online. I've become a father. I didn't have a dad growing up. Something really important to me when I became a father was time, quality time. I want to be there with my family, not palming them off to somebody else. I want to play a part in the school drop-off and the clubs and all the rest of it. So time is precious. So I didn't want to go knocking on doors. I didn't want to be messaging people one after one after one. I wanted to be present in the moment. So I knew that most of my business was taken care of, and all I had to work on was the fun stuff, which was delivering my actual service or product.
I love it. So how did you, well, first of all, I want to say I love that family comes first and foremost. It's amazing how many people I work with and they're unbalanced. I talk about that in my Create the Perfect Day, being
Sure.
balanced and all of that. So how did you get on this journey? You mentioned you kept failing, right, in the network marketing. So you knew there had to be a better answer. How did you discover that answer?
I discovered someone as opposed to something. So I was just looking for anything. I'm like, I've got to figure this stuff out. I thought about quitting for a teeny weeny amount of time, and then I'd look at my daughter and think, no way. But I just thought, you know what, I can deal with not being good enough at something, but I can't not deal with giving it my all. I need to know at the end of the day, that I gave it everything. So I started looking around and thinking that there's got to be a solution. So I was Googling loads of different terms, building a business online, working from home online, all sorts of different ideas, and a lot of rubbish came back. But then I saw a particular gentleman, and I got on his YouTube channel, and I was following his blog, and I was like, this guy is doing really, really well in my specific business. He's also got success coaching others how to do this, and he seems to be making a lot of money, but he's got a lot of time. How is he doing this? And I literally reached out to him and said, will you help me? He said, well, I can coach you for this. And at that point in time, I said, I can't afford that. And he said, well, I also build a network marketing business. If you would like to join my team, you can kind of take a look from the inside what I do. So I took that option, sweated all night because I'd never spoken to the guy face to face. I just was, yeah, I'll do that. And then all of a sudden the next morning he calls me on Skype, and I just followed what he did and applied it to my own business.
That's incredible. So you said you were 50,000 debt to 5 figures a month, right?
Yeah, exactly that.
Oh, that's so cool. So can you share some of your secrets on the sales funnel process?
Yeah, sure. First of all, what you've got to look at is think about the behavior of what your client or your customer is. It doesn't really matter about the niche, and you can apply this to anything as long as you have an understanding of the marketplace that you're in.
Mhm.
So you've got to think about, well, what is it that someone is going to do when they come to your marketing? And again, work on your business, not just in it. So take stock of how you're introducing people to that sales funnel. Are you going to use a Facebook ad? Are you going to use YouTube? What are you going to use? And if you were to be objective and take a look at that, and you were someone, a prospect, and you arrived at that platform, how would you feel about your marketing? What do you get a sense of? And what it's really got to play to is the one thing, like the one thing that your market is looking for in terms of desires and challenges they want to overcome. And if you can speak to those two things throughout your marketing and then seamlessly into your funnel, then even if you don't do a great job technically, even if this is something new for you, then you'll find that your results will be at least adequate. And you'll then begin. I like the statistical side of a sales funnel. You can see once you have this going, okay, how many people come from my social media channel to the front of my sales funnel? How many people will then give me their email and look at the presentation? How many people from that presentation will then book in? And you'll very clearly be able to see statistically, well, okay, this is okay, but this area is weak. And you can start to fix and plug those gaps until by the end of it, with a period of sort of 90 days, you can have a smooth process and you know exactly how many people are going to purchase compared to how many people you send to the front of it. And then you can, of course, scale your marketing really with confidence.
Yes, I love that you say. So when I work with clients and say who's your ideal client, riches in the niche is one of our training. And like you said, what value do you have? So for example, today I worked with an incredible gentleman, really nice guy, business 25 years. He didn't even know his value proposition and his business was tanking, right? After 25 years. And a lot of people don't really know. And then what I like what you said is, okay, then where are they hanging out at? Where's your ideal? You shouldn't be. I've had people like, well, why aren't you on this social media channel? It's not where my ideal client is.
Absolutely.
So why should I be on there? Just follow the crowd. I don't follow the crowds. In case you can't figure
exactly. Yeah, you should
right?
zig when everybody zags in marketing for definite.
Yeah. So don't follow the crowd. Okay. So I love that you have that process. So what comes next?
So what you want to do is you obviously want to think about what is the end result? What do you want to accomplish with a sales funnel? So is it mainly that you want to generate leads, as in people are booking an appointment in your diary? Is it that you want them to follow a flow of information and then make a small purchase or a trial or something? So begin with the end in mind and say, okay, what do I want to accomplish with this? And that will help you for definite. So many people start at the beginning and then go, well, what, kind of square peg into a round hole. Whereas if you know what you're shooting for, you can then work backwards and say, right, let's say, for example, it's someone, you want someone to schedule an appointment with you on the phone. So we start with a schedule page. The very last page wants to be where they can schedule a call with you. Well, is that schedule page professional? Is it encouraging them and compelling them to do that? The page before that, what information do you share to have that person understand that you understand their needs and desires, and that gives them confidence that this call is going to be of value for them? Before that, what is your unique offer? I call it the asset bait. What is it that you're offering in exchange for their email? They know the game. Everybody knows the game these days. If they're giving you their email, they know that you intend to offer them something and email them. Yes. We're all big boys and girls. There's no point trying to hide it. Let's just be upfront with it and just say, okay, I want your email, but this is what I'm going to give you. Don't say that, but be direct with it. Okay, how to do this with this, even if you've got that. Give me your email, I'll give you the report. They can make a decision based off of that. And then once you've got that process in place, run the numbers through it, run the traffic through it, take a look at each step and say, okay, where is the biggest leak? Where am I losing most people? And then start there. Okay, there are loads of people getting to my appointment page, but no one's booking an appointment. So what you can do is, the cool part of getting their email first is you can email these people and say, hey, listen, I noticed you check out the funnel. What would really help me to understand better is, how come you didn't schedule an appointment? And they may just say, oh, your button doesn't work. And you go, oh my goodness, I haven't checked that. And you go back and you go, yeah, the button doesn't work, or it sends them to the wrong link. But you'd be surprised how direct, your small percentage of people will come back and tell you exactly what it is you need to do. And you can just keep working backwards until the whole thing is smooth.
That's great that you say figure out the leak and ask people. And it might be surprising because I've had people say, hey, will you go and like my Facebook page? I'm all, well, where is it?
Yeah.
Well, it's broken. Over 90% of people, it's broken on their Facebook profile. So how can I even go support you like you? So yeah, like you said, figure out the leak. And it's always constantly evolving and changing, right?
Yeah, I split test everything. You know, software these days, you don't have to be technical guru or anything like that. I use a particular software where it's pretty much what you see is what you get. You type it, you put the pictures here, whatever, and there's loads of options available to people to be able to do that. You just drag and drop, spend maybe one afternoon learning the basics, and then just drag and drop what you've got, and then always have two options of every page. Keep the best converting one and test something else. You know, keep the best converting one, test something else. I think the technical side is what most people think is the issue, and it isn't. What is the issue is most people in business, because they have such a passion for what they do, they forget that it doesn't really matter what you and I think. It matters what the prospect thinks. And we play this game in our own head where we'll look at a sales funnel and we'll decide, do we think it will work based off of our own one opinion? And then we will, I've seen people, they're like a crab. They go sideways, never forward. They'll spend months and months and months putting together this funnel, changing the colors, changing the text, changing the videos. They never even showed it to a single other person. They spent months of their life, you know, like, well, I think this is this, and I think, and I'm like, what does it matter what you think? It matters what your prospect thinks. Go put some people in front of it and actually see as opposed to guessing, you know?
Yes, yes. And that's why I believe in the power. I even invest in, you know, the coaches and training, and to get, like you said, it's not just what I even have people who do what I do and hire me to come in and give that second perspective eye. Or like you said, go ask people. So you said something, one of the most popular questions I'm receiving lately, so my company, we don't build websites or anything, but the most popular question is, what is the best platform to build a website on? Do you have any suggestions for that?
Yeah, 100%. I still say WordPress. WordPress.org, not WordPress.com. So WordPress.org is obviously what you build yourself. The reason for that is you own it. And anywhere else you build a website, you don't own it. If that, you know, if something happens to you know, you build, I just want to build a Facebook page. Well, cool, but well, Mark Zuckerberg can kick you off anytime he likes.
Yep.
You know, I'm going to have a YouTube channel. That's great, but YouTube can turn around one day and say, hey, we don't want consultants on here anymore. Bye-bye. You know, that's happened to friends of mine. You know, any other platform that you go on, typically you don't have ownership of that, and there isn't the same flexibility. Like with WordPress, it's very flexible. You can easily change what it looks like. There's full functionality. It's used by so many people. It's secure, and you own that. So as long as you don't do something stupid or illegal, which is obvious, then you own that content. It is out there for the life of, you know, however you want to keep it out there. The way to have a website is that's the planet, that's the hub, that's where your business lives. Social media is a satellite that point back towards them. And as long as you maintain a strong presence on at least two of those channels, anytime something happens to one of those channels, you can adjust and just put more of your energy into the other one, and then have another one as a backup.
Yes.
You know, just have a presence on all of them, just so you can be found, but really only put effort into two where your audience hangs out, and that will be secure enough if you have a website to back that up.
Okay, so here's another popular question. I'm putting you on the spot here for a lot of this stuff.
Fire away.
So what's more important, SEO or social media advertising? What's more powerful?
Oh, without doubt, social media advertising. Like, people come into SEO and they make me laugh. They go, okay, well, not make me laugh. I laugh because I can empathize that I did the same thing. I'll spend hours and hours sweating, trying to get the keywords right, putting in the right place, putting in the right, you know, images and back. You don't stand a shot if it's a decent keyword, if your website is new. You don't stand a shot, because there's other people out there that understand that those keywords will generate a lot of revenue. So they have an entire team that is backlinking, putting a blog network together, doing all sorts of tactics that, you know, one man or one woman bands can't possibly compete with. So you may as well not bother trying to shoot for that keyword at all. The only time that it becomes useful in the short term is if you understand which keywords to go for, the low-hanging fruit, ones that aren't that competitive. You know, you can do lots and lots and lots and lots of small returns on these keywords with SEO and do okay with that. And then over time, as long as you've done the basics in terms of optimizing your website, over time, as your consistent content and the engagement kicks in, you'll be able to get some kind of strength to your website, and then you'll start ranking. But with social media advertising, you can very quickly refine and adjust what message works and generate a lot of traffic, whereas SEO takes a long time, if at all, and it's time consuming, whereas social media advertising isn't.
Yes, and social media is always evolving and changing. I just got certified on the Facebook bot system. My agency, we don't actually do the social media. We just love to coach and consult in the communication and whatnot. I like what you said earlier, what's your end result? So a lot of companies come to me and say, our advertising and social media is not producing results. And I'll say, well, what's your goal? I don't know. I want more likes. And I love this. I love having conversation with companies. Who cares about the likes? It's not a popularity. This is conversion and targeted. And, you know, I've spoken and seen people who are social media experts who may have way more fans and likes than I do, and their conversion is 0.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they say the page is worthless. So, yeah, you know, being really specific. And you have a copy and paste for network marketers to use for ads, right?
Yeah, so, you know, I put a course together called Predictable Member System, and part of that course, I think where a lot of network marketers struggle is, how do I generate traffic? If I can build a sales funnel and I can put all this stuff together, well, how do I actually get people to this funnel? So I said, well, I use Facebook ads a lot, and this is the campaign that I use. So I put a bonus inclusion in there, showed me creating the campaign, gave them some options, you know, for them to use, and then just put it in the course there so they could just copy and paste it. I just think that it isn't, business isn't easy, but it's definitely simple. And if more people had this approach of playing to their strengths and educating themselves where they're maybe not so strong, things would be a lot easier. You know, when I was in the health club business, I owned a couple of health clubs. You know, marketing was something that I never thought I'd have to pay attention to, because I was a great instructor, I had a great product, I had a great service, I had good word of mouth, so that would be enough. But the world is changing, and people are expecting more and more and more, and they want to know super, super quickly what's in this for me. They want results faster than ever, and they need to feel some level of relationship and trust with you before they even want to walk through the door. You know, if your social media presence isn't available to them, they're going to presume that it's not a real company. I mean, think about how you do your own research these days. You Google the name, you look for Facebook page. If either of those isn't up to standard, and including the sales funnel, you know, you go put your information on something, what do? I know when someone's put a good sales funnel together, I know they're trying to get me to buy something, but I respect the fact that they have those skills. I respect their social media marketing. For me, that's a great big, you know, green flag, like, okay, this person knows what they're talking about. If it's not around these days, people will just go and find your competitor.
Yes, absolutely. I always share with people, you don't want to be hidden, because then I start thinking, well, what are they hiding from?
Exactly, yeah. And what are they going to teach me if they don't even care enough to have a decent Facebook page? It's not accurate, but again, it doesn't matter what you and I think. It matters what your prospect thinks, and that is 100% what they think.
Yes. So how do you, Richard, wow people? How do you wow them?
By the amount of value that I give away for free. You know, in a traditional business, again, going back to my gym days, I learned a lot from those successes and failures. You know, someone would always say to me, oh, you know, you don't want to give the good stuff. You know, you kind of want to give them just enough. And then when I got more aligned with a coach that really kind of brought this out of me, he said, no, you want to give them as much as you possibly can, because people will feel reciprocity. They'll understand how much you understand them and can do for them. And then the paid services that you've got, they'll have absolute confidence to kind of move forward with that. So I'm the same. I don't have the biggest email list. I don't have the biggest following or anything like that. But they're super, super loyal. They pass so many referrals to me because plain and simply what I put out there, it helps them and it's good quality, and they can tell that I've taken time to perfect my craft.
I love it. How can people find you?
My website, richardmatharoo.com. That's the best place to find me. And my name, luckily, is really unique. So once you learn how to spell it the one time, any social media channel that you're on, I'll pop up when you search it.
That is one of my regrets. I wish I would have branded myself with a different name than Jessica Peterson. There's so many. But I like that, Richard Matharoo, especially with math. I love math.
Yeah.
Okay, Richard, thank you so much for sharing your insight and how to go ahead and, bring in new clients, new referral partners, things of that nature. So we really appreciate you, richardmatharoo.com, and we'll talk with you soon, okay?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I hope yourself and your audience gets a lot of value. I'll catch you soon.
We did. Talk with you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.